Morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey,
Fresh edition is happening right now. What is this? Wednesday, the first of the
hump,
month.
hump day,
Hump day and
fools.
yeah, April Fools. But we ain't no fools. We firing it up
Nah.
right now. Let's go. First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. All right. Once again, we want to welcome you to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Again, my name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We appreciate all of you, the chat chimers, getting up early with us this morning on this Wednesday hump day, the 1st of April. You know what the first means around here? Rent is due.
My back. Really got to get that hump out of my back.
Yeah, man. Times is tough. I got to say, times is tough, but we're here to try to figure out what we can do about it. This is the Follow the Money season 4B. We're diving in. We actually have some financial advisors that we're going to bring on to the show in the coming weeks. Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about what we can do with our money, and also some resources that we're digging up and finding out that can help us get some business started and some things going on. So stay tuned for some of that information, and it'll be great. We have no guests today, but we do have the monthly meetup with the mayor. We have a date now, the 17th. He will be on the show. So get ready for that. Monthly meetup with the mayor is now locked in for the 17th of this month. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, we got Senator Cypher coming back this Monday. We might have to make a little change up on that too, because we're still trying to work with them on their tech. So it may happen that morning. It may happen that evening. We're still trying to work out the details on that. So yeah. Yeah, hot mess. But we're gonna keep on rolling, doing what we do. If you guys are just joining us, if you guys are new to the show, then of course you already know that we do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 to 9. This is a news discussion. We are talking. This is not just the news dissemination, but an outreach where we're able to talk to you and have a discussion about things that are going on in our neighborhoods that affect us. And so we thank you, the chat chimers, for coming on through. As a matter of fact, they're coming through now. Pop says a good Wednesday morning. Mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Judy Princess says, wonderful Wednesday. Good morning, fam. Good morning to you.
Hey.
RG said, who the fool?
Man.
RG says, morning, y'all. What's happening? Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning, and Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning. First Sky family and happy Wellness Wednesday. Appreciate you, Marlon. I like that Wellness Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Health is wealth. So, thanks for bringing in the wellness every Wednesday. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Tangled up.
You all right? You good over there?
Yeah. Just trying to hear things.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
Speaking of which, Marlon is a avid person who puts stuff into Friends of First Sky Omaha. He's an avid contributor. I appreciate you very much. So, as a matter of fact, you brought it to our attention. Our own Senator Ashley Spivey is now one of the Vikings of distinction.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Shout out to her, man. I don't know exactly what it means, but I know that you guys are V's, and this is a big deal. It's a big deal. That's all I know.
In good company, she's a it's the equivalent of getting on the reporter's wall at the press club. You know what I mean? It's in good company. You know what I mean? Some NFL players, some politicians, entrepreneurs. Yeah.
That's what's up.
A lot of distinction coming from Omaha North.
Okay, I would love to hear more about it. A little report on who's who and what's what and what it is, because it sounds like a good thing. Love that. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. RG says I'm busy making sure them headphones are well. Yeah, man, gotta hear what I'm doing these days for real. Also, Ariel's 402 says collect your blessings of money and health by hitting the like button, man.
Hey,
let them know.
Right. Make it hot.
Make it hot. Appreciate you. Good morning to you, Mayor Sanchez. Good morning to all everybody that's joined us. I really appreciate everybody coming in this morning. Do us a favor, share the show. Don't forget to share the show if you're on Facebook, sharing on your page. And if you're on YouTube, do us a favor and share the link and send it to anybody who you feel would be benefiting the conversation, adding to it, and also need to learn some things. That's what we're here to do as well. We're here to all learn about what we can do to make some effective change in our communities. What it's all about. Buddy, what's happening with you, man? How you feeling this morning?
Man, feeling great. Could have used a couple more winks last night. Busy out on the town doing the thing, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah. But feeling good. Definitely feeling good. Feeling great. Of course, it is springtime. You the fool if you think January is the real New Year's. You know what I mean? It's coming to life around here. Finally, a new year for real, for real.
Yeah.
Speaking of time, we don't have to get all into that. But yeah, happy New Year.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that.
Yeah.
It is. As soon as I see the buds on the trees, I'm like, oh, okay, it's new.
Come on. That's what
New
time it
new.
is. But yeah, man, feeling good. Definitely looking forward to today's conversation. As always, it's always a joy to speak with all of you in the chat to, share some thoughts and bounce things off of you, Paul. So yeah, feeling good. And of course, the weather is getting, decent out there. I hear it's warming up over there, although it's supposed to get a little wet.
Yeah, it's supposed to get real. Yeah, it's enough to put the H on it. It's definitely getting wet outside today. It's like 90%. Yeah, but the weather is better, and I'm a whole different person when the weather's better. That's for sure.
Yeah. And it is concert season, man. I'm seeing the announcements, and I'm getting excited, man. I'm hearing good things about Maha. I'm seeing Joy Fest rolling out. Hey, man, Noma Fest going down.
Juneteenth.
Omaha doing the thing, man. Hey, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for
it. We got to talk about Maha though. I don't.
Yeah. Just who is Wet Leg? Just please let me know. I'm trying to figure out.
Is anybody seen the announcement from Maha? And if you have, let us know who some of the artists are that are headlining, and if you've heard of them, maybe something we missing. We want to hear about it. All I know is Killer Mike's on the bill, but he's like not headlining, so I'm confused.
Yeah, how you doing?
Not too bad. Like I said, totally different person when the weather's better. I didn't know. I don't know if I believed in seasonal depression before until one day the sun comes out. I'm like, oh, I must have been depressed.
Hey,
yeah.
So the thing, man, the sun will come out tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
Oh, wait a minute here. You gonna sing the whole song? Go on and get your spotlight on, bro.
That's all you get. That's all you get.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into some haps. There's a lot going on in the community. As a matter of fact, community updates is next. We already talked about the newest alumni of the Vikings of Distinction. RG says is basically the North Omaha Hall of Fame. I like that. Shout out to Senator Ashley Spivey. And we already talked about the mayor. Our meetup with the mayor is coming on the 17th. So shout out to him for that. Speaking of concerts coming up, we still got that Memorial Park concert. I know some people have been. Look like Buddy's frozen over there. Looks like some people have been very happy that Cake is going to be opening up there as well. Special guest Cake, but Smokey Robinson is the headline there, so don't forget about that coming up June 26th. As we're talking about concerts and things as well. So shout out to him for that. Also, Noma Fest. This is the one I'm really looking forward to right here. The Barcades, Mono Neon, man, Mohini Day. Frank McComb, Richie Love is going to be back in the house. Keon Harold, it's going down. So shout out to this city for having these huge concerts and things that are happening. Really looking forward to all those things going on. What's going on and more recently to now is April 4th. Art battles happening over at the Culture House. So we definitely need to make sure that we support that. This is a really great event. It's also not just an event that happens in Omaha. It kind of happens in different cities around. So we're kind of connected to the whole art battle scene through Culture House. So shout out to Marcy Yates and Culture House for putting this together. Always a good thing. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. You actually vote on these things, so you can be the one who helps to choose the winner. And as we stated last Monday, Culture House is not the art battle is not the only thing that Culture House is doing over there. They're also doing some important stuff too. A candidates forum is happening at the Culture House. This is going on Wednesday, April 8th. So this is coming up too. You might want to go over to the Culture House, kind of chill in that laid back setting, have a talk with the candidates. I'll start trying to find some information on which candidates are going to be there. But it's a good opportunity to meet the candidates in a home like setting. We feel like Culture House is home. So to be able to be loose enough to ask the questions that you want to ask, get the answers you need to get. You all right good over there, buddy? Good?
Yeah. The Gremlins starting early, but we good. We good.
Starting early, man. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Shout out to the Revive and Empowerment Network. Revive Black Business Summit is happening. State of Black Business in Omaha Part 2. Highly encourage you to go check this out. Definitely register and come through. There's every time I go, I make a lot of connections with a lot of people in business. I mean, the last month we started working with some people right after that meeting, right from that meeting. So
Come on, man.
this is a serious. If you ever want to see, what's going on as far as support for black business, everything that's going on as far as black business is concerned on a high level, you gotta definitely tap in to Revive Black Business Summit for real.
There you go.
So we'll put the information in Friends of First Sky Omaha, but definitely check that out. Also, our friends over at Weberize is doing a thing, how to start a podcast. You can tap in with them on April the 11th on Saturday. They're doing a little seminar there from 1 to 2:15. Tap into Weberize. That's WEBBERIZED. Definitely check them out. Go to their website, register, come on in. This is happening Saturday 11th. You ever thought about starting a podcast and you need some tips and some pointers? You can go to the experts. They've been doing this long before it was even popular to do podcasts around. They were kind of the first podcast studio around. So they definitely have some experience. And of course, Star Trek Rich and Margie are veterans in the game in the news industry too. So they kind of took what they knew for broadcast news and infused it in over at Weberize there. So definitely check them out. That's still First Sky fam as far as we concerned. Shout out to
That's what I
Weberize.
was gonna say. I mean, do you need more reason to tap in? It's the fam. Come on, check them out. Check them out.
It is the fam for real. Also, what's coming up too? This speaking of financial programs that are available to us. Here's a financial success program, 9-week financial program that's happening from Omaha 100, which is the new organization that well, they're not a new organization; they're new to us. But Omaha 100 is an organization that we're tapping in with right now, closely working with. And they are doing a big thing here with this financial success program. So they're not just there to help facilitate, purchases and land and things that you need for your business, but they also are in the education mode, because anybody who's doing anything in our neighborhoods needs to have this education component. So I'm really down for this. But this is starting up on April 30th. So I suggest you go tap in if you want to be a part of this. Scan that QR code, enroll, and learn something about your financial success, personal and business. This is a free event. You can learn how to create. You can learn to create a spending plan that you can follow. Learn the difference between need and want. Create financial goals and have action steps. Enroll OPPD and MUD's level payment program if you need to do that. Learn about credit repair and financial resources. I need to do some of that. Include 12 months of financial coaching. Dinner and child care provided. You can't go wrong here to learn about what's going on with you. You can also, there's nothing that's going to stop you from learning if you get down with them.
They're gonna feed you and take care of the babies. I mean, what's more? What's next? They're gonna pay you? Like that's all that's left. That's all that's left.
Well, I think if you follow the program, you can pay yourself.
Hey, there you go. See, there you go.
There you go. So shout out to them for doing this. Again, it starts up April 30th, so you might want to register and see if you can get in on that. It's going to be going down at the Learning Community at 1612 North 24th Street. Man, yeah, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged this is happening.
Man, the deuce.
That's right. On the other side of the state is going down. The Flatwater Forum is happening. It's going to be at Kearney this time. I call it Kearney because that's the way it's spelled, but everybody laughs at me. Kearney, Nebraska, I guess. But the Flatwater Forum is coming back. They are growing each year. And this year they got a lot of different panel topics. Reason why I included this graphic here, talking about Lexington after Tyson. What comes next? We'll be talking about the present and future of a college degree, and that's something sounds like really important to talk about. Nebraska farmers changing the world. Also a conversation with Nebraska Chief Justice. Mental health in Nebraska, many waiting, few to help. So some major topics here at the Flatwater Forum. Of course, Flatwater Free Press is a partner of ours that's doing good, man. Coming up, bringing the news and getting deeper into it and tackling some big subjects. So there's going to be some experts on the panels, and it'll be a great panel discussion. So definitely check it out if you have the means to get out to Kearney, Nebraska on April 10th. Definitely get down with the Flatwater Forum.
Hey.
Lots more to come, man. We already at 7:15. I'm gonna throw this in here though because this is one I'm really looking forward to trying to make. Women's
Okay.
Educators Appreciation Celebration is going down on April 4th from noon to 3. View our current exhibition. Write a thank you to an educator who made a difference in your life. That's dope.
Yeah.
It'll be with refreshments and music from DJ Eric Ejiki. So it's gonna be
Okay.
a little bit of celebration of women educators over at Union for Contemporary Art. So I'm down for this. Down for this.
Vibes. Yeah, you got some women educators close to you.
Man, that's what I'm saying. I'm already gonna write some notes myself.
Hey,
So
hey,
that's
hey,
what's up.
hey. Shout out.
One last before we get it. Speaking of women educators, I'm gonna give Kimmer Snipes a shout out here for One Omaha. She's got her From the Ground Up speaker series coming back. The
Okay.
first one's gonna be April 8th at the Blackstone Theater from 6 to 8. You want some more information? Definitely go to One Omaha and check it out. Or you can always go down to the visitor center and holler at Kimmer down at the headquarters
Hey.
and see what's going on there too. But definitely register and check this out. The speaker series has always been a great one. They were having them over at Benson Theater a few years back, and good turnouts and good discussions, and great people on the panel. One Omaha is doing it big with this, so shout out to her for doing the speaker series again. Blackstone Theater, April 8th, coming up.
Hey.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
With that, I'm going to save some more of those. Oh, go ahead.
No, well, yeah. Speaking of camera, she's also in the chat dropping something,
Hey,
talking about the needs assessment that One Omaha also has coming up. So One Omaha getting down pretty busy. She says if they pay you, talking about that financial workshop, she says it will almost be as good as One Omaha's workshop. Again, she says not only are they feeding you and taking care of the kids, but they are paying you and providing
hey,
transportation and have like language access. Okay, no excuses, no excuses. So
that's what's
appreciate
up.
yeah, appreciate you, Sister Cameron, for reminding us of that. Give us a time and place, when and where, for the people to again tap in with the One Omaha needs assessment. Yeah, been talking about that since we
Man,
had you on last week. We need the needs assessment for us, to figure out again what we need so we can do something about it. That's what it's all about.
love that. Appreciate you, and shout out to all the work you're doing over there. We see it. We see it.
For sure,
The neighborhoods is the beginning of everything, for sure, for sure.
man. What's good in the hood?
Yeah, there you go. It's already 7:17 if you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska. So we're gonna at least let you know what we're gonna be talking about. It is today's thread time, buddy. What's today's thread?
Yeah,
What we talking about?
yeah. Well, as you see, today's episode is a News Wednesday, kind of jumping on a few things, jumping around, if you will, but still keeping it within the vein, within the theme, within the spirit of following the money. So, as I like to start here on the show, of course, most outlets go with the bleed lead kind of vibe, but we try to do more affirmative, more positive. And this is definitely some positive news, as those in Iowa might have some money just waiting for them. It's called
Mm,
the Iowa Treasure Hunt. But I've been getting some calls that there might be a similar situation here in Nebraska as far as unclaimed property. So for those of you, might have some information out there, want to share it with you. I mean, anybody can use, a couple extra dollars. You ever found just extra $10 in your pocket doing laundry?
I account for every penny around here.
Man, hey, it all spends the same. So yeah, it might help some people with that one. Also, speaking of helping people, shout out to the legislature. As Paul mentioned, we will be having our Senator Cipher coming up. Definitely, I want to give a kudos and maybe get some more information from the senators in regards to this legislation about childcare, which is again a big need. Actually, there's a lot of conversation surrounding the childcare crisis, which our partners at Flatwater Free Press have been calling it, reporting on what's going on as far as the childcare situation. DHHS on both the federal and state levels questionable, but again, some legislation going out to possibly help some folk. And also, KETV releasing an article looking at the economic impact of the childcare situation. So again, in the spirit of following the money, we're going to dive into that a little bit, and also honor and definitely big shout out to friends of First Sky and First Sky content creator alumni Sister Erica Felt, who's always letting us know about what's going on in the childcare situation, and again reminding us that childcare is also about the economy. Again, if you can't have anywhere to take the babies, how you gonna go to work? So
Mm,
definitely going to dive into that. Also, speaking of the development and going to work and things like that, definitely want to look into what's going on with the DED. Of course, we've been working closely with the DED, been candid about the NSORG situation. And I got some questions and some theories. I may get into them a little deeper in the second hour. But there's some movement again. A new director, another one has been appointed officially after her interim status, and now officially the head of DED. And
Mm.
yeah, I got some questions as far as what Pill is doing with the DED. So if you got some information, definitely feel free to drop that into the chat. Also looking at some six to dismiss stuff. Although it is again follow the money, we are weeks now away from our primary midterm elections, and there's some controversy brewing. Actually, some national news. Of course, Senator Pete Ricketts, as you see, number 2 on the list, got some decoys out there. I don't know. I'm hearing some crazy stuff, man. We're gonna have to get into it a little bit. Anytime that Nebraska politics makes national news, kind of our eyebrows perk up, like, kind of interesting. So yeah, definitely let us know what's going on with that. And of course, Jim Pillen on that list, as we like to call him, Trump Jr. And yeah, seeing some Trump similarities again, not just with some of the possible nepotism, I'm gonna just call it with the DED, but of course this whole McCook, the Cook Center, the Cornhusker Clink, I think they're calling it. Again, lawsuit getting dropped, but there's still movement with that, and a lot more going on, especially with Nebraska corrections, man. So we're going to talk about it all here in the next 2 hours of First Guy Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey, there you go. There you go. As always, let your mind be free. More importantly, let your voice be heard. But we're a little bit behind schedule, so let's get this thing back on track. Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Judy Prisoner in the chat saying Wet Leg is great. Talking about the Maha Festival happening August 8th. This is coming up. Wet Leg is headlining the show for Maha. Bright Eyes, who is a Omaha native band that gained stardom, is coming back. Kind of looking forward to that. Actually, it's got into Bright Eyes a little bit from some friends around here. But Killer Mike on this list is kind of
man.
Yeah. I'm kind of it's interesting that he's on the list and where he's at. I don't know. So like I said, man, I'm glad we learned something. Judy Princess says Wet Leg is great. We have to dig in and see what's happening.
Hey, man. You know, y'all keep coming to the dungeon, man. You know, first it was CeeLo, now Killer Mike. Hey, do I need to talk to Big Boy? What we doing? Well, I don't. Anyway. Yeah.
I'll cast reunion back and have him come tour the world again. That would be great.
Hey.
This show isn't. We're in Nebraska, so I'm understanding some things when I see that. But hey, shout out to Maha for bringing any international bands to the area, and we got opportunity to learn about some other ones. So yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get going. I see everybody coming in. Also, Alan Faison's coming in. Good morning, First Sky. Appreciate you, cousin. Also, Brother McGaw's coming in. Good morning, Omaha. Appreciate you. Yep. Or RG says Wet Leg. What do they do to Stanky Leg? Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning, y'all. It's Wednesday. We halfway there.
Yes, sir.
Mike? Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, trying to,
It's a good question. Who is hosting Killer Mike? These are questions that we are definitely have to dig into. But before we do that, we're gonna dig into this day today. So stay tuned. We're gonna take a quick break and come right back. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B. Buddy to God. Stay tuned.
We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet.
Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. I'm Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We're here with you, the chat chimers and the ghost listeners. and of course the monitoring spirits. Appreciate everybody who's joining us on the show this morning on this Wednesday, April the 1st. And for those of you that are just joining us, do us a favor, share the show, especially if you're on Facebook. Easy to do. Share the show on your page so we can get as many people in the conversation. Let them know that we are here and it's going down. We really appreciate everybody who's joining us this morning for this conversation. It is News Wednesday, and we have a lot of topics to get into, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Yeah, man. Again, as I've been saying, I like to start the show off in the affirmative. There's a lot of platforms that start with if it bleeds, it leads. And, we all know what the issues are. We spend a lot of time here on the show speaking about the issues and what to do about it. But I want to start with some good news, and definitely in this season of following the money, what's better news than knowing that you might have some money out there unclaimed, might have some coins just waiting for you to come grab, man. So again, this is that, man. This is just a little light news starting off today. This is from KETV. The Iowa treasure hunt is on its way, or is actually underway. Again, as KETV reports, the Treasure of Iowa stops in Council Bluffs, raising awareness for the Great Iowa Treasure Hunt, which is a program that returns unclaimed property to Iowans across the state. The visit to Council Bluffs on Tuesday returned thousands of dollars to the city, but says millions more dollars are still unclaimed by residents. And hey, if you're in Council Bluffs, you might want to check this out. It's checking and savings accounts that are abandoned, life insurance policies, rent deposits that were never returned. My job is to return the money back to the rightful owners. Smith says 1 in 7 Iowans has money in Greater Iowa Treasure Hunt and doesn't realize it. We've returned over $400 million of unclaimed property to Iowans, and we still have about $650 million left to give back. In Pottawatomie County alone, Smith says millions remain unclaimed, saying we've returned $10 million and there is another $16 million still available in Pottawatomie County. Again, if you are in that area, Pottawatomie County or the Greater Council Bluffs area, and you might want to check it out, Greater Iowa Treasure Hunt.gov. Again, Great Iowa Treasure Hunt.gov is the website. Says you can go take a 30-second look. Your name might be on that list. Again, just 2 years ago, we had an all-time record of about 4.5 million, according to McDonald's stock. Apparently, somebody had McDonald's stock that was unclaimed and money just waiting for them. Again, I've had a few people call me, say my name was on the list. I'll be honest, I haven't taken the time to go look on the list, but you might have some money out there. And if you're in the Nebraska area, don't fret. Nebraska also has a similar platform. You can go to nebraskalostcash.nebraska.gov. Again, that's nebraskalostcash.nebraska.gov to see if your name is on the unclaimed property list. And again, this is if you have an apartment and you paid a deposit and you just kind of left the apartment, didn't get your deposit back. You have, taxes that you overpaid, tickets that you overpaid, just things you might not think about, money that's out there. Check it out.
It seems crazy because I feel like I track every single dollar that leaves my purview.
You would think millions of dollars and unclaimed just sitting there.
I think the crazy thing about it is sometimes things get to moving so fast that stuff does fall through the cracks. So I would highly encourage you to check it out. Has anybody ever used one of those systems before and found money laying around? These things are not new. They've been around for a long time. So if anybody has experienced that, let us know. And if there's any information on that, we'll definitely put it in your Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can hit that and go check your name out. So let us know. Interesting.
Yeah. Again, I had some people close to me say their name was on the list. Got a few calls, said my name was on the list. So hey, you might not know. Hey, go get that money. Everybody need a little help. Couple dollars go a long way.
You got to save that money.
Hey, there you go.
You got to save all the monies.
All the monies. Speaking of that, let's move along. Unless you got something else to add to it. Yeah, let's keep it moving. And something else that might help, in other news, this coming out of Nebraska Examiner. Nebraska lawmakers say child care subsidy bill is a workforce issue, but the bill has advanced. Big shout out to the senators pushing it. LB 304 exactly, and will permanently keep income eligibility levels for Nebraska's child care subsidy program at the higher caps during pandemic recovery efforts. On a 39-8 vote Monday, the Nebraska legislature advanced it to the second round of lawmaking debate. Again, State Senator Wendy DeBoer of Omaha, who made the bill her priority, says that the subsidy is necessary for infrastructure for the state's economy and said Nebraska cannot afford to lose more workers. Business chambers have estimated that 3,000 families are at risk of losing child care assistance if the bill dies. And again, the bill is fighting the attempt to lower the threshold for subsidies for again childcare. So, which means that especially those who kind of fall in this gray area of making too much, for certain services and subsidies and things like that, but not making enough to actually afford the full price of the service, then they're going to be left holding the bill. Again, many families facing that reality. And the board on the issue of the bill says if we're able to successfully incentivize businesses to come to our state, we need a basic investment in childcare infrastructure, and that is what LB 304 is. She and others noted that the average cost of one child in daycare is $13,000 a year or more. Du Bois pointed out than a Nebraska lawmaker, which is more, than what a Nebraska lawmaker earns. So again, this money comes from our constituents. This is no different than us saying to the taxpayers, hey, listen, we want to take money from you so we can give it to someone else so they can have their child in child care. But again, it goes a long way to the economy. There's a lot of talk about the actual impact of this. We can get more into that, but let us know what you think. Sister Kimmer asking the question in the chat already, saying, isn't that LB 304 tied to any other bills? That I don't know. I'm not sure, but that is a great question. Again, watching how bills move through the legislature, sometimes they're amended into other bills. Sometimes the language changes. So again, gotta pay attention. But so far it is moving forward. Has anybody heard about this? Has anybody gone down to Lincoln to comment? What say you?
Yeah, we'll definitely ask the senators when we speak to them on Monday about that. I'm making a note right now.
Okay.
LB 304 tied to anything else. Yeah, I appreciate that question. Also, we're definitely gonna have to check in with our kind of resident child care expert, Miss Erica Felt, whose born day was yesterday, by the way. Shout out to Miss Erica Felt.
Hey, happy belated.
Yeah, and I know she's taking care of babies right now and probably just listening in. So I will definitely tap in with her and see the context here about what's going on with that in this bill. But shout out to the senators that still believe that child care is an important subject. We interesting photo here of just the people in the legislature and how many are behind this, and the ones that are standing in kind of in the front row that have been pushing and trying to help this bill as well. Shout out to all the senators that are still believing that child care is an issue and needs some assistance, needs some help, and they can divert laws and make things happen in order to get that help. So again, I will check in with Miss Erica Felt and try to find out what's going on, how that's going to affect what's happening there. Kimmer in the chat says at one point in time there were $5 million to go towards vouchers. I think they were. So she says so much going on. She says, is you talking about that LB 304 hiding some other issues inside of it? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah. There's always. I mean, we have learned that from the senator ciphers. There's nothing that goes through without them trying to sneak something in it, for sure. So that's a great question. We'll definitely tap in with the senators and ask them about that. Sean McCarthy gives a happy belated birthday to Miss Erica Felt. Yeah, shout out Miss Erica Felt. Man, expert, child care expert, and alumni of the Content Creator Camp as well.
Yeah, squad. Yeah,
squad, big time. Right on, 7:33 right now. If you believe in concept of time, let's keep it moving. Let's go ahead and move on to the next subject. We appreciate everybody who's joined us on this. Don't forget that in the second hour, we will really start having some conversation in detail about some of these stories. But we definitely want to bring up what's going on in the news right now, and we'll get to that. Buddy, what's next on the agenda?
Yeah. Again, getting into more of the follow the money aspect of this, as far as the impact that childcare has on, just the economic situation in Nebraska in general. And again, by all means, I think it's past the canary in the coal mine as far as the economic state of Nebraska. And per the Greater Omaha Chamber, they're calling it a 4-alarm fire, which is again a little more dire than the canary in the coal mine. You know what I mean? A little past that situation as far as a 4-alarm fire. At least that's what the Greater Omaha Chamber and how they're describing the economic impact of childcare in the region. Again, this is from KETV7, reporting on a new report completed by First Five Nebraska and commissioned by the Greater Chamber of Omaha, which is uncovering the exact impact that inadequate childcare has in the Omaha area specifically. So this isn't just the greater Nebraska. This is Omaha region, which includes 6 Nebraska counties: Dodge, Douglas, Oto, Sarpy, Washington, and Cass, and also 2 Iowa counties: Pottawatomie and Mills. So according to the article, president and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber, Heath Mello, said that they were commissioned to do this report in an effort to study the workforce availability and impact on economic development. According to the report, over $1 billion of lost business outputs, or over 900 million of lost wages, and realizing that every year we're losing 4,000 jobs because of the lack of childcare is really a 4-alarm fire right now. He says if that industry doesn't get healthier in the childcare space, we're going to continue losing 4,000 jobs. That's us losing a Union Pacific every year in the metro region because of the lack of childcare availability. Mello said losing 4,000 jobs annually is like Omaha Metro losing a company, again, like the Union Pacific, every year, which can't really afford, trying to get more of those in the community. And again, the report shows families across the Omaha region with one child spend an average of $250 per week on childcare, amounting to nearly $13,000 annually. Those with more than one child spend an average of $450 per week, totaling roughly $23,400 annually. Again, to wrap up, it's not just the cost putting a strain on parents. In collaboration with the Buffett Early Childhood Institute, Bass also says there's a need for more than 4,730 childcare slots in the area. So again, there's already a high need, and legislation cuts to things like DHHS. We'll get into DED here in a second, but it's all pointing towards what they're calling a dire situation, what Flatwater called a childcare crisis, which on the surface we don't really think about it. But again, if you can't take those with kids, if you can't take your babies to daycare, especially if they're not school age, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean it's been a crisis for a long time. We actually been talking about it for a long time. I remember when you first made that move, how tough it was. I mean, it really was. It really ended up being. What do you remember? Some of the prices that you had to deal with.
That's the price. That's the reality. That is the reality. And I have 3 children. You know what I mean? So $13,000 a year for one child. That's what? Let's do a quick math. $39,000 a year just in childcare. Who's making that much?
I mean, who's making that much just in
general?
Just for a regular job. I mean, it's worth it. It's like not worth it to even go to work. It's like you can't even have the job. Stay home and take care of the kids.
If I wasn't in the music industry, if I didn't have this, if I didn't have the lifestyle and the things that I do in my lifestyle, if I needed to work a 9 to 5 in order to survive, like if I had, the traditional 9 to 5 kind of thing, then this wouldn't work. Yeah. Like my life right now is hanging on a delicate balance, you know what I mean, of me making these things work. Because if both of us had to go to a job, and I was reminded that actually in the state of Georgia, the minimum wage is still like $5.
What?
Bro.
That's wild.
Yes, it is wild. It's very wild, because it's just mind-boggling how you expect us to make this, like, make it enough. You know what I mean? Like, right. How are we expected to do this? And yes, it was an early realization that, okay, it's either get a job solely for that job to pay for childcare, which makes no sense because I'm paying for childcare to go to a job that only pays for the childcare. I might as well just stay at home.
Stay home, right? That's exactly what it is. I mean, and that's exactly what it is. And in an economy, in a society where even if you do have a companion there, both of you are working. Everybody in the house is working. What do you do? And how many in our community? Like how many grandparents are taking care of babies? And I've heard people say that, like, well, if you can have, if it takes a village, they have the grandparents watch. Grandparents had their kids already. They ain't trying to young kids with older folks, and don't it ain't ideal either. Like that's on a daily basis, like that.
Come on. And let's be honest, like how many grandparents are actually retired and actually have the Social Security to take care of themselves. And you know what I mean? Like there's some grandparents that might still have to work, especially if things continue down the way that they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of unheard of, really. And it seems to me that some of this money. So if they're diverting funds to try to help this situation, some of the smaller daycare centers, neighborhood daycare centers, community daycare centers, not just daycare centers, but learning centers that a lot of them are like, think about the Playhouse, Miss Erica Phelps spot. It's not just a spot where kids get watched, but it's also a learning center. There's it seems like there should be more help to go into some of those, because there's a lot that could happen there, where there's in the neighborhoods where the people kind of know each other as well. There's that Buffett Center. Tony Johnson in the chat is asking about the cost for the daycare or the Buffett style ones. Those are for free. So the Buffett Center is a free daycare situation, and that's the draw to that, is that these kind of big organizations like that are putting stuff in there that allows people to stay there for free. But people have been real kind of skeptical about what's going on there, what's happening inside of those places, indoctrination and everything that they're talking about. They're nervous about that type of thing, and also those big organizations that are putting those big daycare centers out there are taking away from smaller ones. We talk to people. Miss Gwen Easter, who's always talking about these big centers coming in and knocking out her business and knocking out other smaller daycares. But at the same time, if you are an organization and you have the ability to try to do something to solve that crisis, what do? You're kind of stuck in the middle there with that. Because it'd be ideal to have a huge facility and be able to help people out for free. That would be ideal. But what does that mean?
Who's gonna pay for it? I mean, because at the end of the day, the people, and here's the thing, you can't even look at the child care providers themselves as culprits in this, because if you actually break down the math, it's actually we're talking about less than $10 an hour to take care of your child at that current price, at $250 a week. Think about it. Your child is at a daycare center for what, 5 to 7 hours a day, possibly more. $250 a week, that's $50 a day to take care of your child. At 5 to 7 hours a day, that's less than $10 an hour.
Take care.
That's reasonable to take care of a child.
Yeah.
So it's not the daycares are, overcharging. They're actually not getting, you know what I'm saying? Like $250 a week to take care of a child, as far as, paying professionals to do a job, that's reasonable. But we got to make it make sense at some point, you know what I mean? And at some point it's going to have to be subsidized.
Yeah, anybody getting rich off of that, and and from what I understand, talking to like Miss Erica Felt and other people, like it's almost not worth it to be in business doing it. So it is definitely because you have love for the babies in the community that you're even doing it in the first place, because that's a lot of risk and a lot of trouble that you're bringing on for not a lot of money, and that's tough. It's not just babies that they love; it's the families that they're trying to support. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But again, do we rely on, nonprofits, and like where do we go from there if it's not, auntie up the street that has the in-home childcare situation that, she's now taking care of a third generation of people, because there's that too, like that. And we're talking about, how to build community. There's that. As far as, I went to a daycare center. Now, 10 years later, 12, 15 years later, I have children. And now I'm taking my children to that same daycare center. How do we keep those things that's what brings a community together?
That's so true. So true. Sean McCarthy, you cracked me up. He said, I hate to even mention this, but dog sitters charge that much if you were to leave a dog in their care for an entire day. Hey, that's great.
Beast of the field. That dude was coming.
It's more than a joke though, man. That's real. Like you just reminded me of the dichotomy of we're sitting here talking about our experience and like what most of us have to go through, but there are parts of town that are paying that just to watch their dogs. So, when you have a lot of people out there that aren't suffering in that same kind of way that can pay that, then why, then there's not a whole lot of incentive to change. You're going to change some stuff to help some broke people out. and that just, it makes you, that's what makes me look at, the fact that the legislators have to pile up and try to change laws and bring bills to the floor and do all kinds of stuff in order to just get some help for the families with kids. Like, you got to change whole laws because the market's not going to do it. You think the market is going to bear making it easy for you to have appropriate child care for so you can go to work and do what you're doing? Like, that's never going to. Obviously, laws got to get changed. Obviously, philanthropy has to step in. Like what else could happen?
This is what happens when billionaires run your country. This is exactly what happens when billionaires run your country, and not just billionaires, but bad billionaires. You know what I mean?
Man.
Actually, let's.
McCarthy says, when I traveled, it cost me $40 a day to care for my dog, and that was roughly 6 years ago. $40 a day. Yes,
I believe it. Possibly more. I mean, there's some nice dog parks around Atlanta. Like it's nice dog parks.
It's not a lot of money. The point is, it's not a lot of money to watch anybody or anything for that many hours. You know what I'm saying? Like,
less than $10 an hour. We're talking about.
That's wild, man. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning. We appreciate it. 7:46 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and take a quick break. Just to get our head back straight, because we started talking about childcare. What is the solution, man? I'm so far away from thinking about like what a solution is. I'll tell you what, the solution lies in what it is that you just described. Because everybody I know that is doing that got some kind of something going on like that. Your kid is either in school, your kid is staying with Big Mama for a day or two. You work from home so you can have them there. You work different kinds of jobs all over the place so you can just not have to have them in daycare. Everybody it's just like housing. Everybody got a hookup. Everybody got a side way to do things instead of just like a straight up, can we have some childcare?
So I was listening. I know we're trying to cut the break, but I got to respond because these are some thoughts that I've been having, and in various degrees. But I was listening to a podcast conversation, and they were talking about community, and the whole point of following the money is so that we can not just follow the money, but get into a situation where we have the resources, have the, utilities that we need to thrive and to do what it is that we need to do. And they were talking about community and what makes people feel a sense of community and buy in. And it's like jobs and economic opportunity is cool, but that in lieu of actual connection, that in lieu of knowing somebody that can watch your kids if you got to do something, you know what I'm saying? That in lieu of somebody that can give you a ride, like those are the things that actually bring a community together. I thought of, Sister Camera and Grandma Harris, you know what I mean? Having those, and that doesn't take money. Like that doesn't take a lot of money. We're talking about not economics, but economy, ecosystem. Right. How are we coming together to use the resources that we have outside of just the realm of money, just resources? How can we pull those things together and make it work? And I have a song called Change the World, and the hook goes, I want to change the world when I grow up. And I keep thinking like, but the only way to change the world is to get people to realize that they have to change themselves. And only you can save yourself. But if we all work on, doing what we can to give back to the community, we'll realize we're actually saving each other.
Come on, man, in the mirror, Michael Jackson.
So again, these are just thoughts that I'm having on a daily basis, but it felt very poignant to share these. Let us know what you think on all of that. I appreciate those coming into the chat. See Brother Anthony Rogers Wright checking in. RG, Sean McCarthy. Yeah.
We'll go to a quick break and we'll come back and jump back into the conversation. Thanks for joining us. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
My
name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Stay tuned.
Hey.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. Thanks for joining us. We're going to jump back into the conversation here in a minute. Just want to give a shout out to Omaha Magazine that has a podcast called The Inner Circle. Looks like they're doing it over at Weberize from the setting there. I don't know. The Inner Circle podcast that I just learned about because Omaha Star is being featured. Shout out to Terry Sanders. So check out your latest episode, the Omaha Magazine podcast. Definitely check it out. See what Miss Sanders has to say. I'm always interested in what she has to say and what's going on with the Omaha Star museum build over there. I pass by it a lot and I'm checking out the kind of construction that they got going, and I'm very anxious to see what's happening. But yeah, shout out to the work that she's been doing as well. Shout out to Omaha Magazine on that. Also, we didn't really get into it too much, but shout out to Miss Gladys. She just put a post out about Big Mamas. We were talking about whether or not Big Mamas was going to close, and she made a post saying that she had thought about it. And what she did though was announce that her exodus. She's saying that she's gonna wants to be a steward because being an owner is not really her bag. It wasn't really what she wanted to do in the first place. She'd rather be a steward. So don't know what that quite means for her. There is an exodus happening. She didn't really clarify whether or not that meant the restaurant was going to step down, or she was going to sell the restaurant, or what was going to happen. But I definitely think that if you know Gladys, definitely go over there and have a conversation with her. Let's find out what's happening. Maybe we even try to have her on the show to see what's going on. But shout out to her for making her intentions known here and really thinking about that. Really thinking about what ownership means. She ran down a few things that I was like, as a business owner myself, I was like, man, you ain't lying. Taxes and blah blah blah, payroll taxes, all this stuff, man. And she's like, yeah, that's never been me. She's I'd rather be a steward than an owner, and that really kind of exactly.
That is a thought. I like that. We gotta, man. That could be a whole episode, to be honest. It's also bringing me in. Shout out to brother Marlon Harrison and what he was saying about how the community views real estate. Kind of think about that same thing, because this is a business that she inherited. Big Mama did the thing, and she's trying to keep the legacy going. But was that always her dream? You know what I mean? Like you don't really think about it. And yeah, and in regards to setting up legacy and investing in and building community, having keeping legacy going, having those things going, you want to see that. But it is interesting. And this concept of ownership versus stewardship. Okay, you might have to put a pin in that and come back to that one. I like
dig
that.
in. Got to
Yeah,
dig in.
do it for Miss Gladys.
We'll jump into the chat real quick before we get to the next subject. Black Dynamite in the chat is saying, talking about billionaires that never had to worry about a thing with live-in childcare.
Come on, man.
Live-in childcare. I was thinking about that picture of Elon Musk in the White House with his kid on his shoulders. And you just take your kid to the White House. If you read, Sean McCarthy says, I didn't see any other solution other than subsidizing care. Care providers can't live on that wage, and the people needing care can't afford to pay a legitimate living wage per hour rate. Talking about solutions here for child care for sure.
Come on, man.
Also, RG says, I'm assuming babysitting isn't a thing anymore like it was in the 70s and 80s. I think it is, bro. I mean, more than ever, people are leaving their kids with folks all over the place. Anthony Rogers Wright bringing in the solutions from another place. Zoran Mamdani got universal child care in New York City on his third day in office. Yeah. The New York City Council now discussing expanding free child care from pre-K to 12 years old. That's what's up.
Okay.
He says, we need universal child care way more than we need a streetcar that goes 6 to 8 blocks. Pop says, amen. Amen to that. Yeah, believe that. Universal child care for sure. When we start talking about moving the needle, subsidizing some of the ones that are here, helping out some of the mom and pops. Some of these solutions sound very small compared to what they're doing in other states, like providing universal child care. What does that look like? Does it look like in Nebraska with our nonprofit industrial complex?
Yeah,
kind of looks like the Buffett centers. You know what I'm saying? Like
it definitely is way different than what you might see in a mega metropolis like New York. You know what I mean? Versus Omaha. I definitely think I agree. Universal child care is something that we should strive for. But I believe that's something that will have to be done on a city level, not necessarily I mean, on a state level, not
Mhm.
necessarily on a city level. Excuse
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, misspoke. But yes, on the state level, not necessarily on the city level, which actually takes me to my next article, if that's okay.
Hmm.
Speaking of billionaires, I'm trying to wonder what is Pillin doing with the DED?
Mm.
Again, the Department of Economic Development. Ain't that what we're talking about? Job creation, the job market, how this childcare situation impacts the job market. And again, what is going on with job creation and the Department of Economic Development in the state of Nebraska in general, especially in our communities with the NSORG and other things, and especially those tied to COVID-19 movement. Yeah, let's get into it. For those who haven't heard the news, Nebraska lawmakers have confirmed, as reported by Nebraska Examiner, Maureen Larson as a new director of the State Department of Economic Development, despite some reservations from the committee that interviewed her. The legislature approved Larson's confirmation just Monday on a 32-1 vote. Again, one lone opposer. Governor Pillen appointed Larson as interim director back in July, replacing former director Casey Billets, which keep that in mind, and announced that she would become the permanent director in November of last year. And now she has officially been confirmed. Ultimately, the committee advanced her appointment with a no recommendation, which is a rare occurrence, according to the article. Without favorable or unfavorable recommendation, John Arch, who's the speaker, has said Larson's appointment required at least 25 votes. If there weren't 25 votes, her appointment would have been rejected. However, again, she got the 32 votes that she needed. The one opposer, was State Senator Stanley Klaus of Kearney, who again was a sole no vote in Larson's confirmation. He said his opposition stemmed from several calls and meetings he's taken with people concerned that Larson's appointment has created a toxic environment within the DED, which apparently has lost roughly 40 employees. But later in the article, it's mentioned that might be coming from the top, as Pillen may be undermining or trying to reduce the size of the DED through attrition, i.e., often agencies do this by not filling positions people vacated through retirements, or having or encouraging people to leave on their own. And again, I'll stop there in the article to kind of give my perspective and again my thoughts as we've been dealing with the DED. We just had a conversation with Senator McKinney on Monday. He calls the DED the I forget the name that he calls it. But again, he is not very high on the DED and reminded us of the high turnover. That's really the point, is the high turnover coming from the DED. Of course, we have been very, candid and clear in our process and going through the whole NSORG. Again, we were one of the organizations that were awarded the North and South Omaha Recovery Grant Funds. But again, it has been a headache to say the least. And I know, Paul, maybe you could speak to this a little more. But again, high turnover as far as just the people that we're dealing with. But it's not just on our level. Again, at the top level, a lot of turnover with the DED leadership. If you remember, again, there was the brother that was running the DED around the time NSORG was first passed. And then just out of nowhere, he resigned, he moved. We still didn't get the full story on that. And then Casey Billets was implemented, which again was Pillen's guy. He was a small town guy, small town, economic development guy. He got the nod. And now we have Lorene. So I'm just trying to, figure out what's going on with the DED. It's feeling a lot like Trump Jr. Again, we call Pillen Trump Jr. We've seen a lot of turnaround in Trump's agencies. Same kind of vibe with this, if you ask me. Paul, what say you? Chat, what say you?
Really, I really don't have much to say about that. I can leave it to the chat if you have any comments on this, but I don't have too many comments. It's been stated before. We've been seeing it happening. You just reminded me about the brother who was running it when this all started. That was the cigar bar guy, right? The guy who
Right.
down on his
Yeah,
own. Yeah.
yeah.
Something came up and he quickly stepped down on his own, and we felt like that was something funny in the first place. But yeah, there's been a lot of turnover. There's been a lot of turnover as far as the jobs concerned. Help for the community's concerned. My experience with the situation is it's been hectic, but part of the hectic nature of this has been that a lot of us didn't know what we were doing, and they were assigning people to us to help us through it. and they were just learning about what the rules were and so on and so forth. You got to remember, they had never given this much money to North and South Omaha. They had to create a whole new division and two new buildings, in one in North and one in South, in order to dole out those $300-400 million that the Senator Justin Wayne, Senator Terrell McKinney put together. So this was on top of it being a new venture, on top of there's senators who have been trying to sabotage it and take the money back. And then we had a change in governor that happened in between all this as well, and that changed the direction of a whole bunch of stuff. It was no wonder all of it's going to be shifting around the way it does, and it's been tough. But we talk a lot about the NSORG money, but economic development department is a department that is always giving money in order to help businesses do what they need to do. This was just an anomaly that just happened with this NSORG money, but before that, you could have been somebody who benefited from those grants, and after the NSORG, you'll be somebody who can benefit from those grants if they can get things straight. But again, the big question to me is how is our current leadership, the governorship, how is that affecting what the DED does? That's the biggest question, because those dollars will always be there. They come from different sources. They'll be there for you to be able to do something with your business. But how can you access them? How much money will there be? Who's going to influence on decisions they make, on who gets that money? And if it all goes back to we having to ask the question, what's the governor doing? Then that's the concern to me, not the turnover, not how many people come in and out and so on. I mean, the department needs to be running more smoothly than it is. Of course, that'll help. But is there a reason why it's not? Is there some sabotage going on? Like you said, is there, there's some things happening there that's shaking it up a little bit, so that it's hard. It makes it harder for people to receive funds.
It is very interesting. It's very interesting, and you kind of laid out a few points, especially as far as the NSORG situation, and the real feeling that they don't want that to continue. Actually, towards the end of this article, it kind of alludes to that, if you will. Keeping the point we just made in mind. Listen to this. DED spokesman Justin Pinkerman said the lower staffing numbers are partly because of quote unquote dramatic growth the department experienced during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. From June 30th, 2020 to June 30th, 2025, Pinkerman said DED grew from 63 full-time employees to roughly 114 as DED winds down pandemic-era economic recovery programs. Which programs are they talking about? And identifies greater operational efficiencies. Not all positions that come open are being filled. So as, again, people leave, they're not going to refill positions, and again, it does seem like a part of this has to do with NSORG and kind of the lack of resources that it was being directed towards NSORG. And as far as your question about the connection as with decision making with the DED and specifically what Pillin is trying to do, again, it all seems like a playbook out the Grand Old Party. It all seems like the Trump playbook. Again, we call Pillin Trump Jr. and it just writes itself, because who is Larson? Let's ask that question. Larson, who again is the new director of the DED, was formerly the general counsel for Pillin. Does that sound familiar? Putting your lawyer and general counsel in position. I'm not making this stuff up. Mm-hmm. I'm just reading the article right, and drawing the comparisons. Again, Larson served as Pillin's general counsel and deputy director of his policy research office. So again, any decisions coming out of the DED, even with the new leadership, it's Pillin. It's Pillin's administration. It's the executive branch. It's Pillin. And again, what is the DED doing? What is the economic state of Nebraska? What are the jobs looking like?
That's the question. That's the real question. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about the DED. DED is, it's the state's lead agency for economic growth.
Yep.
That's what that department is there for. They're supposed to be fostering business expansion. They handle job creation and also community development, manages over 50 programs, including financial services, tax credits, infrastructure grants, helping businesses, communities, and residents, strengthening Nebraska's economy. That's kind of what what they're stating this whole department is for. So that first sentence to me, it acts as the state's lead agency for economic growth. The state, which is run by the governor, and so if what does he say about economic growth? How is what's other policies and other things that he's pushed? What are other things that are going on with the governor when it comes to what areas get money, tax credit stuff that goes on? Where private schools is an issue. We're thinking about some of the things that the governor has pushed, and if this is the tool, then this might be the reason why people like Senator Terrell McKinney feel like they have they've been doing some harm. It's a good question. Also, I want to jump into Tony Johnson is alluding to something that I think we need to address. He says we have been asking that for a good while, especially when they funded a North Omaha office. Nobody knew what they did. Now that person who ran it is now CEO of Omaha 100, whereas that happened in life. Not really sure what you're suggesting there, but I have had many discussions with Trey, who was the person who was over there, a part of that. He's also one of the ones that turned over, one of the ones that left. Too much chaos. He saw other places like Omaha 100 where he can come in and do some good, but that was one of them. He hasn't really officially come out and talked about the experience there, but I have talked to him recently about coming onto the show and having some discussion. But I definitely feel like that's not the only person. The people that was handling our account is also in the community doing some other things too. And when you say, hey, what was that experience over there? They were just like, it was wild. We had to do something else. So that's part of that turnover that we're talking about too. That is problematic. And I really believe that that's something that we have to kind of look into because of that, because that it's a resource that, first of all, not a lot of people in our community took advantage of in the first place. We never did.
That part.
We didn't know nothing about it until NSORG, until Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Justin Wayne came on and said, this is what they're doing. And this is what happens. And they had that money that they were, at first they decided it would go through DED because they wanted to make sure it got to North and South Omaha. That was their motivation there. Then when they got to DED, there was some issues there, and they stayed around trying to make sure that happened. They went above and beyond. I remember us talking about how they went way past their lane in order to make sure that money that they raised got over to where it was supposed to go. So, I mean, this has been an ongoing thing for a while, for sure. So, yeah, I definitely think it's something to jump on. We talk about this a lot. We've gone through this a lot. I'd like to try to bring it back down to what the issue is, like what the beginning of all this is. If you own a business, then you should be able to take advantage of DED dollars. There's grants that you can get from the state in order to enhance your business, in order to help you hire more people and create some job creation and so on. There's programs that happen all the time. People in all around Nebraska take advantage of this. There's some organizations that have the process down so smooth, they just put their little application in and they get funds. When it came to our neighborhoods, we didn't have that knowledge. We hadn't taken advantage of that, and we didn't know how the system worked, how it went, how anything went down. I've worked with many people in the DED with our case that I was mad at first, and then realized, I ain't got no reason to be mad at you. You're the ones trying to help us navigate through all these new rules and regulations that came up because of the NSORG money. They were almost learning at the same time, at the same pace. So there was, the process that we went through here is interesting. And now that we're at the end of our situation, the person helping me is like, now that we've gone through it, about some things, take advantage of some of the stuff that's coming up. There's always money coming into the state this way, and for economic growth, especially if you own a business. So, when I think about that, even down to like a brother who got a truck, who got a smoker, and is just smoking Doge in them, cats that are out there slinging in plates and so on and so forth, man. We all are struggling. I think about Miss Gladys over at Big Mama's, saying what she's saying about it. Everybody who got a small business struggling, and the biggest struggle we got is like, we don't make enough money in order to hire the people that we need to help us enhance business. So we got to take advantage of it. We can't just go say, I gotta sell 20 more plates today so I can hire somebody. Like, no, there's other things out there. There's things that you put your money in. You pay taxes in order to get to this thing. and you should be able to take advantage of some of these dollars that are out here to help you enhance your business, because you're enhancing Nebraska when you have a small business, when you're hiring people, when you're doing things. So this, we can't just be like, nah, I don't know nothing about that, I ain't gonna go after that money. No, go after that money. Go after that money. And this is why we have to kind of keep our eye on who's in charge, who's running it, how it correlates to the leadership, what they're doing with these dollars. Because there's people that are going to the DED getting dollars, getting tax breaks, getting all kinds of stuff to do stuff like build lakes on the west side.
Come on, man. I mean, and it's not just that, man. Just the whole system of government contracts. Like, look at how this stuff is moving, how this money is moving. You got corporations making millions and millions of dollars because of the nepotism. Let's just call it what it is. We all work to pay our tax dollars for them to pay their friends with our tax dollars. That's what's going on. The great grift is happening in front of our very eyes. And again, we have to demand access to the system because it's our system.
Something that's kind of unrelated is popping up in my brain about something I just read about this situation with TSA.
Man, they could have been paid them people. Come on, man.
And listen, in the money that TSA gets is our tax dollars. So they took our tax dollars and said, at first was like, we're gonna pay TSA with this, and then just decided, you know what, we're gonna stop paying TSA. We're just not gonna pay them. So now we got to stand in 3-hour lines because they decided not to use the tax dollars that we gave them for the purpose of what they were supposed to be for, in this case, to pay TSA. This stuff goes on all the time. You don't keep your eye on this stuff. Why even pay taxes?
I mean, why participate in the bands of society? That's the infuriating thing. Like, what are we doing?
We can't just keep paying in without us being able to take advantage of the things that are out there to take advantage of. And unfortunately, there's always powers that be, especially in this administration, this time of our society, that is fighting for you to not benefit from that. You're just supposed to pay in all the time so they can take that money and do what they want. Go to the moon and bomb Iran and
come on, man. But you can't get health care. But you can't get child care. What are we doing? And having no King's rallies ain't enough response. Yelling shame ain't enough response.
Tell them.
Because you still gonna pay them taxes. You still gonna go to work on Monday. So what we doing?
What say you? Holding it out to the chat. Chat's kind of quiet right now. I see Tony Johnson chiming in, but I'd like to hear from some other folks as well. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Tony Johnson is talking about Project 2025. He's like, read pages 653 to 655. Pretty much laid out what is happening in Nebraska and other areas. Minimizing structures of economic development, key part of this chapter. I mean, I feel like they had this plan even before they made 2025. But yeah, now it's explicitly down on some paper you can read and find out what's up.
Man,
he says, I hope this is a center of conversation of this weekend Black Business Conference. No, I don't think it's going to be too much of that. Now, the couple Black Business Conferences I've been to in the past talked a little bit about the INSORG money that has come in, that has gone to businesses to enhance. They kind of took I feel like they take the position that here's some money coming in, so now let's figure out what to do with it instead of just spend it out. Like, let's make sure that we have some structures in place. We got some of the INSORG money. We were one of the ones that are on the lower tiers. If you read the whole thing, it tells you who won the money and how much they won. And there was a whole lot of us that got 50. It was that was the joke back in the day. Did you get 50? You got 50? Yeah, you got 50. There's other organizations getting 10 million. There's other organizations getting major money, but it seems like they were just give them all 50,000. Like, that was what it felt like they did, because it felt like they weren't even really looking at your program and what it is you outlined to put out there and say you wanted to do. They just was like tired of figuring it out and just said, just give all the small businesses under a certain amount this much money. And I remember that being a issue. Well, going to some of these Revive meetings and Empowerment Network meetings and stuff like that, they're like, well, listen, then if you got the 50, let's figure out what we can do. And and one of the things that we had to venture into was to realize, like, we need help. We need We need help with. We need accounting help. We need tax help. There's organizations that are in the network that can do that. That's the kind of more of the things that I feel like they talk about when it comes to like the black business uh, summits and stuff that's happening. That's probably what they'll talk about Saturday. Is there is a lot of money coming into North Omaha, but it can come in and come right back out, man. We got to be able to do something with it, act right with it, team up with it, all these things. And I feel like that's the conversation that we definitely have. Matter of fact, what I learned about the DED and some of these government contracts and some of this money that comes into the state for economic development has been from meetings like this. Like, this money is here. Let us show you the system, show you the way, help you figure out how to fill out that application, to do all the things that we're having trouble doing this past couple of years with the DED. They stay on top of stuff like, here's how you can apply to the DED for other stuff, and here's other stuff that came up even beyond NSORG. There's always money coming into the state. Every year there's money coming into North and South Omaha. How do you get your hands on it is the question. So I haven't had anybody else tell me how to do that, except for when I go to like the Revive meetings or Empowerment Network or some of these other places that are dealing with that. It would be great if other organizations like OEDC and other people that are getting money would show us how to get it, but the only people that are talking about how to is them. So I'm going to learn as much as I can learn there when it comes to that part of it. But just like we always talk about, there's people that are doing this that are fully invested in just going after that money, and that's just it. That's not us. We have lanes. We talk about lanes of change. The economic power that you get from getting money from people like the DED and the state and so on and so forth, there's one lane. We also have to build our own thing. We have to have our people help support the thing that we build. There's a lot of other things that we got to do, just like childcare, just like any of these other kinds of things that are out here. We have to figure out what we're doing too. But let's not also forget that we pay tax dollars and we should be getting some of that back as well. Like, can we do both? Can we hold both thoughts in the mind? Can we figure that out? Can we leave it to Revive and Empowerment to be in that lane to show us how to do that while we're over here with BAA working the grounds and figuring out how to do things that, you know what I'm saying? Can we do both? Can we figure that out?
Man, got to.
Wait a minute. I didn't even put myself up to do a Paul.
Come on, Beezy Blast.
Come on, man. I didn't even do it. It's too late now. I'm coming down from it already.
I appreciate the sentiment, though. I definitely agree. What we doing?
Yeah, what we doing? That's a question. I'm gonna go to break. But before we do that, RG says, I think I hear a buddy calling for revolution. Clack, clack. Man.
Okay. I mean, hey, the real revolution starts inside of you, my brother.
Man in the mirror.
Hey.
Pop says income tax was instituted as a temporary thing. Can you believe that? Back in like, what was it, the 20s or something, Pops?
Really?
It was instituted as a temporary thing. I even saw pictures of it. It was like temporary tax, but it's still going strong. I honestly believe it's existing illegally. It is.
Man, I mean, the way they using it.
RG says OEDC is too busy undermining folks' businesses to show those interested in the path. Yes and no, RG. Yes and no. Or maybe. I'm not sure completely. I do see some things that OEDC is doing that needs some explanation. I also see some good OECD. Let's not just, it's not just one or the other on this.
I think that's kind of you remember the word of the season, nuance is the word of the show. I think we gotta, accept the fact that two things can be true, but at the same time, we weren't really going to get too much into it, but I think now's the time to kind of address it as far as the OEDC thing. Again, as far as our approach, we're seeing some of the posts on social media, and we're definitely still trying to have a fair, balanced conversation about what's going on with just economic development in North Omaha and OEDC's role and all of that in general. But I did want to acknowledge some of the things we're seeing on social media, and just say we see it, and we're looking to continue having the conversation. But in my personal capacity as buddy, what I'm seeing is not looking good. I'll just say that.
We're still trying to get all the information. I don't know how much we're going to get since what's going on between Fairdale and OEDC is now going in the courts
That part.
system. So don't know how much we will as First Guy Omaha will keep on trying to reach out to OEDC for comment on some things. If you want to know what's going on the Fairdale side of it, there's a lot out there. Like I said, there's plenty of stuff that the brothers over there are posting from Fairdale. There's also William King's show, 95.7 The Boss, the morning show. Brother AJ has been on there a few times talking about what's going on. I think people got a pretty good understanding of what's happening, and nobody's really been able to talk to OEDC, which is what we're trying to reach out and do as well. So far, they've been like, yeah, not really going to say too much on that, and that's been that's been what we've been talking about so far. And I don't think that's going to change right now with it being in the courts now, with being a lawsuit happening. So we'll have to see. But it does really kind of bring up a lot about what we need to be figuring out overall on that issue. And I would like to start with that, with finding out, figuring out exactly what some of these entities have been doing. What has OEDC been doing? My preliminary kind of digging into it, there's been some good that's happening. As far as development is concerned, there's been a lot of good. As a matter of fact, development, there's been a lot of good. There's some questions that happens when they own something and they have a management style, a kind of landlord management style that are the things that are in question, and some of these things they're actually being sued for as well. So those are some of the things that need to happen as well. And I don't think they're a legit company. I don't think that they're not going to speak on these matters when it's the time for them to do that, or how adjust the narrative, how they want to adjust it, and so on. We will keep putting it out there to use First Guy Omaha, because we don't do the hot seat thing. We're trying to get to some togetherness. That's the whole purpose of us even doing this. And we want people to have an opportunity to say what they need to say. Other people are going to come and report on this.
Yeah.
Would you really want to come on here and have a conversation so you can have the receipts to match up against what these other people are going to be reporting? Because they're definitely seeing things a certain way as well. And if we're a organization that is only here to try to bring the Black community together, and that's the approach that we have when we're trying to talk to anybody about these subjects, I hope y'all find some value in that and come on through. So I'll keep on reaching out to Brother Maroney to see if he wants to speak when, and also everybody else that's involved in this particular thing. There's some things that's been ongoing about this, and other people that have been involved, other people trying to get down with it. William King is calling me up, giving me information all the time too. He's been a part of the situation and the scene. So there's a lot to discuss about it, but all we can really do is kind of keep the updates happening. We appreciate you guys putting stuff in Friends of First Guy Omaha and commenting on them. I love understanding and hearing where you're coming from on it. And totally agree on a whole lot of things, and are trying to see the broader picture in order to add some more information to that. That's really all we can do.
That's it.
Before we go to a break, Pop said a little early in the chat, I found this interesting. Says, I found that my grandfather got a baby insurance policy. Never heard of this before. He said, for me, when I was born in Omaha and I collected a few ducats from that, I found some old treasury bonds I had forgotten in Cali. They work. So he's talking about these organizations that go out and find money that we forgot about. And this is where he found it. We asked the chat, have you benefited from any of this? He did. But what I'm finding interesting is this baby insurance policy.
Man.
Have you ever heard of that?
Nah, I haven't. I've heard of life insurance, but baby insurance policies, it's interesting. But again, those are the types of things you never know, man. You might have a job that took a life insurance policy out on you. You never know, man. Hey, unclaimed funds, look into it.
Big time. Appreciate y'all in the comments as well. Tony Johnson says organizations and who run them are too intertwined when it comes to identity. These organizations should be bigger than the one or two people. They are. They're much bigger than, I don't know who the one or two people you're referring to, but yeah, they are. And to be intertwined with other organizations and stuff that's happening kind of is the point. We got to have some partnership. We got to figure out how we can utilize this stuff together. Also, RG says, y'all got a better chance of seeing Bruce Wayne change into Batman than getting Maroney on the show. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been unreasonable. I understand the reason why he decides that this ain't the time for him to come on and talk, but we'll see.
Litigation.
We'll see. And, Bruce Wayne does turn into Batman. Ain't that the whole, that's the whole thing. So don't sound too hard. We'll take a quick break and come right back and listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy the Guy, in the second hour, letting loose.
Hey.
We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Yeah.
Hey. What's my favorite word?
Thanks for joining us again. We're in the second hour. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
I'm
said
loose.
From Gerber's for infants back in the man.
I have heard about that.
They're just trying. They're making money with they're putting anything together.
Hand over fist,
insurance
man.
from Gerber's.
I remember that the Gerber's insurance.
I've just seen a boardroom full of white dudes. We can't just make baby food. We have to get into the insurance industry as well.
Hey man, securities, bonds, big money.
That's wild. Very wild.
Hey.
Oh, Tony Johnson in the chat says, what I was trying to say is that reputation and identity of an organization tends to be, I see what you're saying. That of the person running it, because the organization's that person's whole or main identity. I mean, that's still kind of hard to call on.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say the organization is the person's whole identity. I would actually say the other way around. It kind of becomes when you think of Empowerment Network, you think of Brother
Barney.
Yeah, Brother Barney. But to that point, it's a whole network, you know what I mean? Like, and we've kind of had this conversation with Brother Barney, like, if you can't come on, send somebody else on. Like, we want to know what the organization is doing. So yeah, I think I kind of get what you're saying, but
yeah, I feel you. But anyway, like I said, I think that the solution has been for me, because I came in with a lot of skepticism, just like everybody else in the beginning, and the solution for me was to dig in. Go ask some questions. Go find out. Go to some of these meetings, see what's happening. And I'm seeing the receipts. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not really the kind of person who gets too riled up with rhetoric. You can't preach me into something. But if you're showing me receipts, if I'm seeing some things actually happening, I'm talking to some people that has benefited and stuff like that. That's what convinces me. So that's kind of what's been going on with that. And anyway, and also I think I approach things a little bit looser than that. They ain't got to solve every problem for me. Is there? I can learn something from people I don't like, and my enemies and people that are out to get me. So I could absolutely learn something from people who are at least, leaning in the direction of trying to help black business, help people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they're not doing something perfect, I can still. How am I using it? How am I benefiting from it? But by my participation is what I'm learning. Is what I'm learning here. That's to me that's what the network's all about. When you talk about Empowerment Network, you talk about how am I. I mean, just recently, like we've been trying to do the books ourselves. We talking to Hayes and Associates because we need accounting help with what it is that's going on. So guess what? Guess where I found where I learned more about them. I learned more about them because they're part of the network that we talk about. And so so anyway, the point is, like, I definitely. I still approach a lot of stuff with a lot of skepticism, but when the receipts start coming out, that's when I can allow myself to change my mind on some stuff, with not abandoning all caution. I don't join the cult of anything. That's just that ain't never been me. So anyway, the point is that there's a lot out there that we could be using to our advantage and helping and getting down with. And I'm really kind of like impressed by the resources that we have right here in North Omaha, especially for you know for us to thrive if we're ready. If we're ready, you got. I know you may have been. I'm talking to people in the chat and people, ghost listeners. You may have been, or you may have people in your family that come up with great ideas for business and and got no clue on how to start that. No entrepreneurial tendencies.
Right.
They have a great idea. I got this great idea for this thing. Why don't you give me $50,000 so I can go do it? And no track record, no nothing, no bank account ain't right. Like this is the kind of stuff that happens all the time. And I feel a lot of people that do that are the people that are mostly complaining about the fact that there are people who are doing something that do get some dollars that are doing something with them. It's not, those dollars aren't locked off from us. We could be part of that situation and be doing that too. We could be doing it on our own and even get assistance and help on that without being part of any of the networks. So it's just, the point is that there's resources there for us to take advantage of when we're ready. And even when we're not ready, there's even resources out there to help us get ready. That's the crazy part too. Every organization I've been talking to this past year are organizations that are fully equipped to help you start from absolute scratch, like nothing, but we're going to help you get somewhere with it. Every organization, when you think about it, the only real successful Black organizations are the ones that are out there not just doing business, but have some education component to it as well, because it's been the education part. What we know has been held from us by the powers that be for so long that we don't know.
It's information.
Got to be taught. You got to have the information and be taught and then do the business as well. Like, to me, those are the most successful companies that are doing that. We have to venture into it with what we're doing with Content Creator Camp. We have to. We got to talk about citizen journalism. We got to talk about how we enhance our journalism. We got to learn about how to become trusted sources. We got to do all these things because it's not a given in our community a lot of times. It has to be a part of what we're doing. It has to be a part of what everybody's doing. And it's out there. It's out there if we want to take advantage of it. So with that, appreciate everybody who's jumped in. Pops in the chat says, I never would have known about Gerber's or that my grandfather purchased the policy in that name if not for that recovery site. So they work. Talking about, yeah man, that's what's up.
Yeah. Also, Mama God in the chat, she says, I'm waiting on 3 unclaimed property checks right now. So
come on with it.
Hey, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, you might be surprised. You might be lunch for the day.
Look, bro,
might be a bill for the month.
What you waiting on? You already said your name was in there. What you waiting on?
Yeah. I got it. Check it out.
Get with it, man. Get with it. RG says, look back in the day, I bet you Gerber made bank on them policies, bro.
Come on, man.
For real.
Big time.
What's happening? Herbie says, Grand Rising all. Good morning to you.
Peace.
Appreciate you coming through. Everybody coming through a little bit later on the show. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody hanging through the second hour with us as well, when we kind of get a little bit looser on the conversation and some of the stories. It is 8:33 if you believe in the concept of time. It is April the 1st. If you're just joining us and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, then you'll be looking at some rain coming here in the daytime and the nighttime. Supposed to be very wet today. Wet, like Buddy says. Put the H on it. That's how wet it's going to be. Got to put the H on it. Wet outside. Yeah. But anyway, with that, I know I can see your wheels turn over there, buddy. What you thinking? What's on your mind?
Yeah. Kind of looking at, trying to round off the rest of the show. Got about just under 30 minutes left in this thing. And I have about 3 different threads, 3 different directions. I'm kind of actually trying to decide where I want to go next. And maybe I'll just lay it out and let the people decide. Have some incarceration stories that are kind of laid out. Of course, Pillins lawsuit over the Cornhusker, the corny clink, as I call it, that has been dismissed. There's also some movement in juvenile things happening in the news. Also, voter information. Of course, we've been pushing the 6 to dismiss. There's actually a lawsuit around, again, the Secretary of State sending out our voter information to Trump. If you remember that has already happened as far as our information being released. But there is a Supreme Court argument that is going on in regards to that situation. And of course, this whole Ricketts plant controversy. I don't know if you want to hop into that. And then also there's some things happening with Trump as far as the NPR and PBS situation. I know communication, speaking of lanes of change, communication rules the nation, one of our main lanes. Man, a lot of movement going on as far as NPR and PBS. And then also speaking of Trump, this birthright citizenship situation that is going to the Supreme Court. Actually, I believe they are hearing arguments on that today in the U.S. Supreme Court as far as Trump's move to remove or to ban birthright citizenship. And something to also look into. I don't know if we want to get into that or maybe pin that for another episode because there's a lot to that as far as again what we've been seeing. Of course, I've been talking about the UN declaration on the Ghanaian resolution and the United States not signing on to that situation. And, not a surprise that now just days later or, less than a week later, the Supreme Court is hearing and possibly, preparing to get rid of birthright citizenship. So, yeah. A lot to get into, kind of laying it out. Let me know if any of that jumps out to you in the chat, Paul.
I mean, all of it does.
Man, for sure, for sure.
All heavy stuff for sure.
It is. Let's go ahead and jump into the election stuff because I know we've been pushing 6 to dismiss and kind of our style here on the show is to let the people know what we can do about some of this stuff, and voting is a thing. Again, we've kind of gone through the full arc of emotions as far as being a little skeptical on voting, not really knowing about the electoral college, and then meeting an elector and learning about the whole civic situation. And now here we are, understanding again what's going on with the voter situation and trying to follow what's going on as far as Trump's hunt for voter fraud. And of course, that is our feeling when we see this voter data situation. And definitely, hopefully, all of you are paying attention to what's going on as this now makes its way to the Nebraska Supreme Court. As Nebraska Examiner reports, the Nebraska Supreme Court has hearing oral arguments just yesterday on a lawsuit that tried and failed to stop the state from handing over potentially sensitive parts of its voter data to the U.S. Department of Justice. Daniel Gutman, shout out to Daniel Gutman, man, always doing the good work. One of the attorneys for voting advocacy group Common Cause and Omaha voter Dawn Essink. He asked the High Court to reverse a Lancaster County District Court ruling that Common Cause lacked standing to sue because the alleged harm was speculative and not imminent. Again, the Nebraska Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, but had already denied an injunction request that would have prevented Evnen, again, from handing over voter data to the Justice Department. Again, Evnen gave that information already back in February. This was touched on during oral arguments as some justices asked if the case mattered anymore since the data had been handed over. Gutman argued it still matters because if the federal government comes knocking, there isn't anything that the state's top election official could do to protect voters' information based on the lower court's ruling, i.e. the court has already set precedent in the state as far as the federal government getting the access. But again, that precedent, if it was reversed or if there was an opinion kind of combating that, that could go a long way in future legal battles. Nebraska Solicitor General Cody Barnett, arguing on behalf of Secretary of State Bob Evnen, says the state's was too late to stop the data from being shared. But again, on the whole question surrounding this is exactly what is the Trump administration going to do with that information? The Trump administration has asked states for detailed information from state voter rolls, including names, date of births, driver's license numbers, and the last 4 digits of voters' social security numbers, saying that they want the information to ensure accurate voter registrations. But again, we all kind of sense that there might be more afoot. Again, Nebraska isn't the only state sending out that information. Nearly every state has been asked to hand over the data. However, only 12 states have complied with their complete list, including Nebraska. 5 other states have sent only data already publicly available, and roughly 29 states have been sued by the federal government for that information. Again, we are weeks away from midterm elections. So what are they going to do with this information? Reminding you, there's also some legal battles and some arguments going on down here in Georgia as they look through the Fulton County election roll. So again, paying attention to all of this and anticipating some shenanigans going on around the vote.
Already some shenanigans going on with this sheriff in California that rounded up all those ballots as
Man,
well. So this is going to be an ongoing thing for sure. Also, something that's kind of related, but not really. They talked a lot about what how ICE is now supposedly helping TSA in some airports.
yeah.
Really, all they've been doing is checking IDs, which somebody mentioned is great training for what it is that they're talking about doing at the polls.
I'm saying, I'm
So
saying.
we got to kind of look for all these things, all these shenanigans that are going on. Democratic Party put out this post a little while back on making a plan how to vote by mail. All this is happening coming up here on the 13th. Might want to take a look at it, not just if you have a plan to vote by mail, but also to figure out where your polling place is and so on and so forth. All these things are things that we got to look at because it's going to be a little bit harder than it's supposed to be. Also, make sure your ID's right. Make sure you got the real ID on your license.
Man,
All these things are shenanigans that are definitely going to be a part of what's going to happen here because they're definitely looking at everything. Everything is pointed to they want to mess with the election. That's really like everything is pointed to they want to mess with the processes. We're only talking about a fraction of some of the things that they're digging into to try to disrupt stuff, which is pretty huge fractions. I mean, birthright
yeah,
citizenship, you know,
man. The
all those
Save
things.
Act, all of it.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me because like every year we gotta stress our community to come out to vote like on its own when the system is working like it's supposed to work by itself. Already a
Man,
difficult task. Now we got to ask to be diligent in all the things that are needed in order to make it happen because now they're making it that much harder. What is the what you know what I'm saying? Like, what is
hmm
that going to mean for the turnout? Maybe if we put a little fire under it, like you got to battle a little bit for it, maybe it'll be a bit. Maybe it'll do something to that turnout. Now, instead of it being just such a this is your duty and this is what you should be doing. Like, nah, they are actively out here trying to stop you. Like, maybe that drums up a little bit of rebellion in your head about it. If you if you're on the fence about making that move, not sure.
not
Um,
sure. Yeah,
but I will say too there's a lot of I think there's we also can't really forget about like some of the judges, some of the fight that is happening, the battle, these things. There's
hmm
not all wins when it comes to this administration at all. It's not all wins. We can talk about the NPR, the PBS thing that just happened. That's not a win as well. Also, buddy, I just sent you something that I forgot
hmm
to talk to you about a little earlier, but this is also a loss here. Court finds Trump Vance administration violating law to rush to politicize housing grants, which is a big win as well. Shout out to Tamara Dwyer who shot this to us to talk about what a big win this is. Maybe we can dig into that a little bit if you take a look at it. But my whole point is that there's still so many fights out there on these things. It's not just a cut and dry. They just are able to do whatever they're able to do. There's a lot of entities fighting. There's a lot of decisions being made. There's stuff that people got to go around all the time because of that. Mama God in the chat says Steve Bannon spoke on ICE training right now for elections. Yep,
yep.
that's what I was talking about. Tony Johnson said keep an eye on current money situation with postal services when doing mail in ballot.
Come on,
Uh,
man.
we got to tie in the postal service and how they're talking about by fall we won't even have one if the money doesn't come. What
Very
happens
convenient.
then? I can see this administration going. You know what? Let's let's privatize. Let's shut down the mail. Let's not send in any more money so we can't get any ballots. Let me shut up before I give them some ideas.
Man, I mean, I don't even know if you'll be giving them ideas. We kind of already seeing it. Jokingly, we were preparing for the show, hopped on CNN, and they got the paywall up on CNN now. Ever since Oracle, like everything's gonna have to. Man, I mean, we're gonna have to talk about this at some point. Like this whole subscription, economy that we're in, and it's
Mhm.
finding its way into government, and they're trying to privatize everything. We were, already talked about the plan out of the Project 2025 to privatize TSA, which Trump has said. He's also talked about nationalizing voting, which ultimately would mean privatizing voting, especially if he continues to be the president, which we haven't even talked about this 2028 nonsense, but yeah, let's get
Uh,
through the midterms first.
RG said, I like how the federal courts seem like they're sick of Trump. Legal systems like, hold up, dude. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. You're talking about it's not all wins. It's actually a lot of losses, like a lot of losses. And yes, this last legal challenge is just the latest in the round of losses, especially in the court system. As far as again, the U.S. District Court of Rhode Island today ruling that the U.S. Department, I think this was actually yesterday, ruling that the Department of Housing and Urban Development, i.e. HUD, and HUD Secretary Scott Turner actually violated the law through their spladash imposition of political whims, quote unquote, when approving new funding restrictions that would have unlawfully conditioned access to federal housing grants on compliance with the Trump-Vance administration's partisan agenda. Kind of, if you remember, HUD actually announced that they will be removing access to housing for those who have certain immigration status. If you remember that, we haven't really talked about it, but yeah, very, very interesting. Some of the moves that they've tried to make. The solution to homelessness is stable, predictable, permanent housing, according to Frank Shea, executive director of the Women's Development Corporation. He goes on to say organizations providing this housing need fair, predictable programs that are free of politicized criteria. We are glad that the court agrees our neighbors in need of housing deserve nothing less. Today's news reinforces a fundamental truth that the work to end homelessness is not partisan and never should be interfered with for political means. On behalf of the people and providers we serve, the National Alliance to End Homelessness pledges to continue fighting back against efforts to dismantle homeless response in America. So there you go. Again, the HUD trying to make some moves and appease the Trump agenda. But to your point, court saying not so fast, my friend.
Yep, like I said, shout out to Tamma Dwyer from the mayor's office, the homeless coordinator, who shot us that information, saying it's a big win. It's a big win for the battle with homelessness, and who's out there suffering from it in a big way too. So yeah, not gotta say the battle continues on. There she is in the chat right now. Says there is another lawsuit against HUD still in court too.
Man, okay, another one
and another one.
Yeah, speaking of another one, it doesn't stop there. Let's keep it rolling, man. This coming out of Nebraska Examiner as far as another L in the courtrooms. Trump ordered to block NPR PBS funding was unlawful, judge ruled. So again, another law broken by the president. Again, this coming out of Nebraska Examiner per Washington reports. A federal judge ruled Tuesday. Man, so yesterday was just a rough day for the for the Trump administration. It was rough in court yesterday. But again, I read a federal judge ruled Tuesday that President Donald Trump overstepped his authority when he signed an executive order just last year blocking funding going to the public broadcasting service and national public radio, i.e. PBS and NPR. U.S. District Judge Randolph Daniel Moss wrote in a 62-page order that while many of the original issues in the case are no longer relevant after Congress again rescinded funding for the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, so some of the damage has already been done, the section of the executive order that called on agencies to end any direct or indirect funding of NPR and PBS remains applicable. The message is clear. NPR and PBS need not apply for any federal benefit because the president disapproves of their left-wing coverage of the news, Moss wrote. Because the First Amendment does not tolerate viewpoint discrimination and retaliation of this type, the court will issue judgment against the federal agency, defendants declaring of the executive order unconstitutional, and will issue an injunction barring those defendants from implementing it. So again, another blow to Trump's planned attack and control of the communication channels, especially the public ones. Kudos to those courts, kudos to those judges, and a big win for public broadcasting.
RG said, "Hold up, dude." Of course, said, "Hold up,
man,
hold up." Yeah, man. Her being in the chat says the system is failing. What would happen if people say don't vote, take away the 3/5 compromise, and know that the sovereignty and become 5/8 one? Doctrine of discovery, 400 years, contact bankrupt, and we got
cut off.
Yeah, we got kind of cut off there. We got to come back to your comment there for sure. What's my guy talking about? Turner still alive? Shadow Negro, shameful.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
Let us know what you guys are giving us some. We need more.
Mm.
We need more on the comments there for sure. Tony Johnson says, and whatever housing efforts are in place or starting now have higher expenses and possible setbacks due to Build America, Buy America.
Mm.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Mama God says he lost big time yesterday. HUD, Ballroom, NPR, PBS, and more.
I
Heard
forgot
that.
about the ballroom.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got ordered to stop the ballroom, right?
Yeah. In the bunker, apparently. In the bunker.
Yeah. So we'll see. He might start a war now that he's mad about
Oh yeah.
Tuesday. This is my
Cuba's in the
Tuesday
crosshair.
war. Right. Appreciate everybody. It's 8:50 right now. 8:50 if you believe in the
8:50.
concept of time. Thanks for everybody who's joining us and talking about these things. I definitely want to dig into some of this stuff on Friday. What is today? Wednesday? On Friday. We can talk a little bit more about some of these things because I think these wins, especially the wins when it comes to the homeless fight, man, I'm really learning more about. I think this is huge. I'd like to see something that got JD Vance's name attached to it that is telling the truth.
Man.
It was unlawful.
And not to mention, there's still the bipartisan housing bill that's making its way, I believe, to the House right now. So there's still, a lot of fighting to be done as far as housing specifically on the national level. So yeah, definitely some things to talk about in later dates.
Absolutely.
Things to look out for.
Before we get toward the end of the show, I had a little flashback that popped up, man. I saw this and I smiled. Check this out. Remember here in Nebraska?
Man.
Here in Nebraska. I miss here in
Shout out to
Nebraska. They used to get down. But we were in their article. This is Mind and Soul. Mind and Soul dedicates programming to upbuilding Black community. The Yes Ands new video promotes racial unity. See-through dresses announced sophomore full length. We were in the headlines right here with all these other music groups that was happening. Maha lineup announcement. So there's some parallels to now with the Maha lineup announcement. That's what's up. I appreciate them. And as you can see, even back here in Nebraska days, they were partnering with Rabble Mill the Bay, who is now doing big things in Benson right now as well. They've been on this tip for a while, man. Just as far as I'm concerned, Andy Norman and them is news gang in a big way, and I appreciate them. They also had some training over there where they were teaching kids journalism. So shout out to them. They've been doing this for a long time. This got to be 10 years old, something like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, time.
Yeah, it's got to be like 10 years old. But it was a nice little smile flashback, Mind and Soul days, and also here in Nebraska days, man. Here in Nebraska did some good work all the way around. Love that.
Yeah.
Also, didn't talk about this too much too, but Vincent Film Festival is coming up. I'm not sure. We got to look in to see if you can still enter a film if you have it. But the film festival is actually happening on the 23rd through the 26th. They said the Benson Creative District will have more information coming soon on this. So it might be that they're going to show it at the Benson Theater. Definitely go check this out at their site, Benson Film Festival. If you're a filmmaker or if you're just interested in filmmakers or local films, this is something to definitely dive into. This is kind of the closest thing we have to a film festival in the area that is not the Omaha Film Festival. Omaha Film Festival is the big dog. Benson Film Festival coming up too. Appreciate that we have a localized one. It makes me think, maybe we ought to start some other kinds of film festivals in the neighborhood. So shout out to them for doing what they're doing there in a big way. And also, we'll talk about this more on Friday, Love Supreme Friday. But shout out to Celeste Butler, who was featured at Omaha Public Library. She had some artwork that got put in that library. She has some really great things to say. I'll play those videos on Friday, so you can kind of dig in and find out what's going on with the Omaha Public Library and how significant it is that we have some representation in that big building.
Man, on the Love Supreme.
Also on the Love Supreme, we're going to be having Miss Amanda from Film Streams on again on Friday. So stay tuned for that. She's going to be talking about some of the films that are coming up. Film Streams is that third space. Have that film to start and have a discussion after the film about the topics that the film is portraying, and also being able to speak with local experts and stuff like that on those subjects is kind of the place to be and the thing to do. I highly encourage it. We haven't had too many people tell me, I've been reaching out to you guys. I'm like, look, make Film Streams part of your routine. Go see a movie, go check it out, go support. Not just because for going to movie sake, but to continue these conversations. This is what it's all about in a real way. So I would love to see that more. I want to kind of put out a more aggressive call for us to get together, take advantage of some of these free tickets that we're giving away. Go out there, check a movie out, chill out, have a movie night, and also not just a regular movie night, but a movie night that can consist of you continuing the conversation and moving the needle here in the city as well. So shout out to Film Streams. We'll be talking to Amanda on Friday. That's what's going on coming up. Before we get out of here, the last 5 minutes, buddy, how you want to wrap this?
Yeah. Obviously, not enough time to really dive into anything, in any substantive way, but I definitely want to kind of let the people, know what's going on. There's a few articles hanging out before we get out of here. I definitely want to kind of put a pin in. Might have to come back, especially seeing what's going on with the Democratic Party. A lot of movement. Might have to have Sister Precious come on, but definitely got some questions about this Democratic preacher apparently that's making national news. Apparently a Ricketts plant in the Democratic Party, or Dino's only. Try to figure out what's going on. If you haven't heard about this, CNN is reporting that Democratic candidate William Forbes has apparently voted for President Trump multiple times, attended Republican Party leadership events, used right-wing talking points on sermons. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, is he a plan? Very, very interesting. But again, anytime the Nebraska politics makes national news, we just find it very interesting. And especially on the 6 to dismiss tip, does Ricketts have some tricks up his sleeve? Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. I think the tendency is to believe that that's probably the case because they're using whatever they can, every strategy they can.
Man,
they're splitting the votes up by having a bunch of Democratic candidates come in. Number one is it's always been a strategy, but number two, this is a new one on me. If it's a straight plant.
Man,
a person who's going to be voting everything Republican, but is coming in saying they're a Democrat, that's huge. We definitely have to have Precious McKesson on to talk about what's going on in the Democratic Party with that situation. That scenario.
Yeah, very interesting situation indeed. But also in other news, I definitely have to talk about what's going on with the youth juvenile situation. Apparently, there is some legislation that is moving. Let's see. 1 second. I apologize. I lost the article. Moving our youth and where they're going to be housed as far as youth detention in the state of Nebraska. Of course, there's still a lot of questions around the facility in North Omaha or downtown Omaha. But again, just across the state, what is going on with youth detention. I apologize. Looks like I lost the article on that one. But we'll definitely have to come back to that situation. There's also some articles talking about what's going on with our elderly brothers and sisters that are behind bars right now and the lack of health resources that they're getting in that situation. So especially as we prepare for our Senator Cipher coming up on Monday, speak to Senator Terrell McKinney, who's definitely neck deep and on the front lines as far as the battle to help, with our incarcerated brothers and sisters. And also Monday or April, I just saw this is being deemed resources for it's a month recognizing those who are formerly incarcerated and helping them with recidivism and resources. I'm gonna have to get the name of the month, but again, the month of April is being dedicated to those efforts. Again, assisting our brothers and sisters with staying out of incarceration and getting them the resources that they need to get back into society. So shout out to those doing the work, 180 Rap, Diane Good, and all the people helping. Also the good folks at our ministry center that's also helping with those in need, man. So again, those are some of the things hanging in the balance. We'll definitely pick those up in later episodes. But here we are, about 2 minutes away from the end of this thing. So yeah, I think that's enough for today, man. The chat's still going. I know you got a couple thoughts. What will say you, Paul, as we get up out of here?
Yeah, that's really a bit. I mean, I appreciate you setting up some things for us to be able to talk about for sure. Friday, I'm really aiming to have a Love Supreme Friday, but we'll still be talking about all the issues and everything that we continue to talk about here. These things we're bringing up is because of you putting things in Friends of First Sky Omaha, where the conversation goes, where the conversation continues when we're not live. So I highly encourage you to keep putting things in that, not just putting articles there, but discussing some of the articles that other people put there to continue that conversation. So I appreciate everybody that's done that so far. Very interesting stuff. We get hit all the time. Firstsky@gmail.com is another email address that people send ideas and articles to as well. You can do that if you want to. And then the group page, Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook for sure. If you're not a Facebook person, I totally understand. I do believe that there's some, like I said, there's the ability to respond to us when we send out the weekly rap newsletter that we do every Friday at 4 o'clock. And there's also, you can always hit us up at firstsky@gmail.com. That's the one we keep in order for you guys to kind of tap in and talk to us a little bit. So there you go. Mama God said April is Second Chance Month. That's what that's all about, huh?
Yes. Thank you. I couldn't think of the actual name of it. Second Chance Month. Thanks.
Yep. RG says I'm still tripping on my hot band name Wet Leg.
Who is Wet
I
Leg?
only think of one thing when I hear that. That's Wet Leg is an interesting name.
Man.
But apparently we got somebody in the chat. Judy Princess said they're great, so we'll have to dig in and find out about them, see what's happening. They might be. You never know. They might got some funk on them. We have to see.
Hey, I mean, they got enough chops to headline. They got Killer Mike opening up for them. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. And yeah, we gotta find out. Let's tap in with Killer Mike and be like, "What you think about opening for Wet Leg?"
Hey, I'm gonna have to ask him.
He might say it. Wet Leg dope. You never know.
Hey, be on some other stuff, man.
Marlon Harrison says you guys got to get Commissioner Chris Rogers on the show to talk about the new youth center. Most definitely,
man. Actually, on that note, I did find the actual thing that's going on with the youth center, which I gotta let the people know, man. This is actually coming from the Omaha World Herald, I believe. And what is going on is a plan to move youth from the Omaha, Nebraska Correctional Youth Facility in Omaha to a prison in Lincoln. So youth being housed at the Nebraska Correctional Youth Facility in Omaha will be relocated to a prison center in Lincoln, and some lawmakers are ringing the alarm.
Yeah, why?
We'll find out.
You can be closer to your family if you're in Omaha, and let alone, don't forget about this whole center that is sitting there empty. Ariel 402 says, claim your blessings and hit the like button. Yeah, please hit the like button on YouTube. I appreciate that. I like that. Claim your blessings. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. A bad overnight bathroom trip. I heard that. I'm talking about, man.
Got the wet leg.
Do a wet leg. Pop says, I think Fetterman is a Republican plan. Excellent show as always. I love the great guests you host, but I've always loved the Paul and Buddy shows. Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah. Pops always say that. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you for joining us today. Let's go ahead and get out of here, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks for letting us be ourselves, man. We appreciate it. We love you. We thank you. You know what I mean? Just sharing some thoughts. Again, hopefully we've caused more clarity than confusion, because that's the whole point, for us to all to come to an understanding and to build upon that understanding, because that is the rock upon which man builds himself. So let's keep on building. Let's come together. Let's make it happen. And let's do this again. Same time, same place, man. Catch us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey. So with that, take care of yourselves, man. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away.
Get some rest, people. I'm saying it loud so I can listen to my own self.
Yeah, I'm
Get
people.
Some rest. I'm people. Take care of yourselves. Absolutely take care of yourselves. There is no, somebody, I saw a post yesterday that say, make normal again, grown people taking naps. I thought that is normal.
Right.
Normal in my world. No. I'll take a siesta as frequently as possible. Yes. Take care of yourselves. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thanks for joining us and having some great conversation. Thanks for coming in with some great comments as well, and some information and some food for thought. And hopefully you've learned some things the way we learned some things. This is a learning situation as well. Like, we're here to learn and understand and come to some conclusion and get to a place of togetherness on how it is that we're thinking, so that we can come to some togetherness on what it is we're going to do about the information. Yep. Got to happen. We'll see you on Friday. It'll be a Love Supreme Friday. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on with Miss Celeste Butler with the library art, and also we'll have Miss Amanda on from Film Streams. So stay tuned for that and get ready. Get ready. It's going to be great. Let us know what's going on this weekend too. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I know that people are already kind of peeping out what's going to happen this weekend. So let us know. Let's talk about it early, and then we'll talk about it Friday for a Love Supreme Friday. In the meantime, between time, put your raincoat on, get your umbrella out. I hope you didn't wash your car yesterday because it's going down today. It's literally wet, like Buddy says, wet with an H. It's gonna be so wet. It's gonna be wet. So,
yeah, man.
So get ready. RG says, in closing, take care of yourselves and make sure you don't have a wet leg. Save the wet leg for the Maha Fest.
And on that note, man, we out.
Peace. We're out of here.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red